Hello everyone, welcome back to Premier League Unfiltered. I hope you're all doing well. The final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup is set and it is the absolute dream matchup, Spain versus Argentina. We have just witnessed two of the most tactically chaotic semi-finals in World Cup history. The giants have fallen, managers have completely bottled it, and the GOAT is putting on an absolute masterclass. But because we're Premier League Unfiltered, we also have to dive into some absolute madness happening in England. Manchester United's transfer window just went from a complete quiet zone to an absolute midfield frenzy in the span of 48 hours. And before we jump in, a quick shout out to Fantasy Football Hub, who we partnered with for today's episode. With the World Cup final now set and plenty of managers making their last transfers and captaincy decisions, they've got loads of World Cup fantasy content, including team reveals, captaincy picks, and final week strategies. And if you're already looking ahead to the Premier League season, they've also got some brilliant fantasy Premier League tools. You'll find my link in the description below or in the bio. So let's start with Spain completely dismantling France 2-0 in Dallas. It was a total masterclass of control, and honestly, Deschamps got tactically played off the park. France lost the game entirely in the midfield battle. They looked completely sluggish, completely out of ideas, and key players like Olise and Digne were completely off the pace. And meanwhile, Spain played their absolute best game of the tournament, and they did it on the back of some incredibly bold management by De La Fonte. Think about it, David Raya has just had a historic season in England, winning the Premier League Golden Glove, and yet De La Fonte stuck to his core squad and showed ultimate trust in Unai Simon. But you see, the real game changer was dropping Pedri to start Fabian Ruiz. It completely revolutionized Spain's midfield balance. And if you look at the numbers, Fabian Ruiz brings a robust physical presence that allows Rodri to dictate the tempo without getting overwhelmed. And also, Fabian Ruiz has still never lost a single match in his career wearing a Spain shirt. 49 games unbeaten, and his historic 50th game, it's going to be the World Cup final against Argentina. And on the other side, we saw disaster class as Argentina knocked out England. This was sackworthy from Thomas Tuchel. With all the attacking depth and world-class talent England have, they took an early lead, and what did he do? He instantly panicked, switched to defensive survival mode, parked the bus, and invited Argentina to attack them wave after wave. And it was a traumatic rerun of the Euro final against Italy under Southgate. You take an early lead, retreat, and stop playing football. And by the end, Harry Kane was the only outball completely stranded. But then you see, we have to talk about Lionel Messi, and when England sat in their defensive block, Messi recognized the congestion centrally and drifted out to the right wing. And what followed was prime Barcelona era Messi. He was turning defenders inside out, whipping in deadly crosses, and creating absolute havoc on the right flank. And at this stage in his career, to put on a performance like that under that much pressure is ridiculous. He's undoubtedly the best player in the world going into the final. He is aging like the finest wine on earth. Forget the GOAT debate, just sit down and enjoy the godly performance the man's been putting every game. And what makes this final so beautiful is how seasoned, consistent, and settled both of these squads have been since the last World Cup. There's no experimental chaos here, and they are led by native coaches who understand the weight of their shirts. And like I've mentioned before, no foreign coach has ever won the World Cup in the history of football, and that streak is guaranteed to continue because we have Scaloni for Argentina and De La Fonte for Spain. These are two men who have built these squads. They've fostered a culture of zero egos, to be honest. And the final is a clash of two completely opposing football teams. You see, with Spain, like they say, attack wins you games, defense wins you titles. Spain has just conceded one goal in the entire tournament. They control the space, choke out your transition, and don't give you a sniff at the ball. Whereas Argentina is just pure chaos, passion, and attacking output. They've scored at least two or more goals in almost every single game. They survive on emotion, momentum, and the absolute certainty that the match is never over until the final whistle blows. So can Spain incredibly disciplined backline handle Messi's drifting into those half spaces, or will Rodri and Fabian Ruiz's midfield screen completely starve him off the ball? My predictions for the World Cup final, I'll go for an Argentina win 2-1. I think Spain's defense will frustrate Argentina for 90 minutes, but in extra time, when the legs get heavy and the game gets stretched, Argentina's sheer aggressive tournament DNA and one moment of Messi's magic will break Spain's wall. Alright, now let's pivot to some domestic news. Manchester United. The first bad news is Edison deal is officially off. It was supposed to be a straightforward 35 million transfer from Atlanta, but he failed his medical. The club wasn't satisfied with the results, ran a second round of testing, and ultimately pulled the plug. It's a massive blow, but United had to move on immediately, and did they move fast? With With Casemiro heading out and Ugarte sidelined with the brutal World Cup injury, United have officially wrapped up Andrey Santos from Chelsea for 50 million. 22-year-old was feeling suffocated by Chelsea's crowded midfield and pushed for the move. This is an incredibly exciting profile. He's got the engine, the physical bite, and the ball carrying ability we desperately need. But the absolute jaw dropper of the week is Tielemans joining Manchester United for 35 million on 5-year deal from Aston Villa. Think about the market we are in right now. Midfielders are easily going for 80 to 100 million. To get an established quality Premier League controller like Tielemans at 35 million is just staggering business. But here's my tactical dilemma. Tielemans and Manu cannot start together. Both are dynamic progressors who want to occupy similar spatial zones, but neither is a natural sweeping defensive anchor. So if you play them as a duo, you are leaving your backline completely exposed. And that is why I think we still need a true number 6. But the good news is United are heavily active in the market for Manu Koné, and he is high on the radar right now. If we can land Koné, he and Santos can battle it out for that defensive midfield, leaving Tielemans and Mano to rotate in that progressive pivot role. And if we get that done, the midfield rebuild is officially complete. No hyped 100 million marquee signings, but we will have quietly bought exactly what we needed, and I would be highly satisfied with the business. Anyways, that's a wrap for this episode. Can Fabian Ruiz hit 50 games unbeaten, or is Messi destined for back-to-back World Cup glory? And United fans, how are we feeling about the Santos and Tielemans deal? Drop your thoughts and score predictions for the finals in the comments below. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone. Bye bye.